Strong northerly wind. Colder than yesterday, certainly. Certainly a day for the woolly hats and the hand warmers. The conditions just about as tough as the old course can provide. Well, we're in the second day of the round-robin matches in this Alfred Dunhill Cup. All the 8-seeded teams, as you said, got their expected wins yesterday. In the case of England and Spain, only just. But here's how the matches line up today. In Group 1, USA against Korea. USA, the top seeds with Fred Couples, Tom Kite and Davis Love. Ireland, the number 8 seeds against New Zealand. And in Group 2, Spain against Japan and England.
Tremendous turnaround in the last couple of holes. Jamie Spence was 3 under, Rocker was level. Rocker's had 2 birdies in 3 holes. Spence had 1 birdie, but has just gone 5-6 at the 13th and the 14th, which downwind is very costly. Drove into a bunker and couldn't find his way out, and now the situation there, the scores have just come up, the 13th and the 14th there, and having had a bit of a mixed bag going out, but you can see the white figures of birdies there, very good outward 9, and this is a very tense situation. Jamie Spence at the 15th, just over 400 yards this hole, 413 yards down the breeze, and that's hiked away, and will it be all right? Yes.
Back to the previous hole, the par 5 14th. This is Calli of Italy, Giuseppe Calli. This is his 3rd shot. He's 1 over par, and so too is David Guilford, who is his playing opponent. And there's a flashing 2 at the 12th, an eagle at the 12th hole, which measures 316. A little bit of a downwind. Players able to virtually drive the green. Calli did. A little chip and run across the green. And unfortunately, once you get over the ridge, which you must do, you swing on and on and on and on and down into another little valley at the back. A lot of these shots are almost totally new to many of the players here at St Andrews this week. This is the middle match, and the final match, Stephen Richardson is going along playing wonderfully well. David Guilford it's not his turn yet. You can see Calli was very lucky not to go on and into the bunker. There's David Guilford's figures. So the English team all playing well, 2 under par, 2 of them under par, and Guilford just 1 over.
This is Rocker at the 15th, his 2nd shot. And he's judged that very well. Coming in, you see, from way over the other side, the other fairway.
The 17th tee, we look down on Olazábal of Spain. Jose Maria, level par, and taking a very risky line there. That'll have to carry. And indeed it did. That is a beautiful drive now. Yes, a little uphill lie. Level par, playing against Komoto of Japan, who is 1 under.
Jamie Spence 2nd to the 15th. This is the top match in the England-Italy games. His opponent on the green. That stops, will it? No, it could trundle off and down. Oh, just held. Not bad at all. Spence 1 behind Rocker at the moment, 1 under to 2 under.
For Calli, who's now playing his 4th shot at the 14th hole. 567 yards, this par 5. And quite a break up this green. He's aiming well right, you can see that. Comes over the ridge, and then should go the other way. A nice putt. You get the feeling there's a sort of growing strength in Italian golf. Constantino Rocca more or less having led the way. There's been a long spell. Baldo Dessous used to play rather well at St Andrews. I remember him playing well in Open Championships here. But there's been a sort of lull in Italian golf. But I think Rocca is bringing it on. Now, David Guilford, who hit the glorious 7-iron shot at the 19th hole to within 8 inches of the hole that secured a victory for England yesterday. An incredible second shot that Guilford has hit into this par 5. It come running up that valley. They generally turn away, but this one managed to cling on. So this is for an eagle, which would be in reply to the eagle that Cali got at the 12th. A touch of break, right to left, about 7 or 8 inches. The slope and the wind to contend with. He gave it even more than that, and the wind has got it. Yes, the wind was getting a hold of it. Wind off the northwest. It looks sunny and pleasant. I can assure you out there it is bitterly cold. This for a birdie 4. And Guilford goes back to level par.
Jamie Spence at the 15th. Third shot, heading back into the wind. He can give it a good hit from the back. Just about reaches the hole. Putting against the breeze, as strong as it is, makes a big difference. Because if you're coming downhill and downwind, you've got to be very careful indeed. Cali has this for a 3. He's 1 stroke ahead at the moment. Rocca, Constantino Rocca playing Spence, Guilford is playing Cali, Richardson, Grappasoni in the final match. But Rocca here, well, the wind's coming very strong from right to left as he putts, so that and the slope has to be all taken into account. Oh, what a good effort. But now, a nasty one left coming back.
Fifteenth tee as we look down the fairway and away into the old town of St Andrews. Guilford using a 1-iron. He always plays in such a leisurely manner, and that he's chosen the safe route across to the other fairway, 4th fairway, and that, well, that leaves him to ponder a few bunkers between him and the flag.
Green, that was a confident, very confident putt from Constantino Rocca.
Cali, tee shot, and he also has chosen to take no chances with the out of bounds. He's gone even further left onto the other fairway. And let's wait and see where it bobs itself down to. I think into a little hollow there.
Here's Grappasoni, the Italian, is second at the 14th, and away in the distance, Lucas Airport. .567 yards, this 14th hole. And, well, he played an iron and needed more. Steve Richardson. Very bulky figure, plenty of the old sweaters on today, and he's a bit unlucky there. Will it hold? Don't think so, no. Tumbling down to the hollow at the back, and that's not the most difficult of chips back into the breeze. Oh, here's a tough hey. The tough ones up here, I tell you. Wonderful balance. Really is the most wonderful view. There's a high camera and a cameramen. Really, we ought to be very, but we are indeed very, very proud of them. Working away, just with just a singlet and a pair of shorts on. Young Brian, hanky tied on his head, you know, corners knitted together. Well done, Brian. And the old town stretching away.
Sixteenth tee shot of Constantina Rocca, and I do believe that was only a 4-iron. He's just positioning it down the left side, and you get an idea what he has to come in over. It's a strange golf course. It's a wonderful old golf course. The further you play up the right, the easier your second shots are, but then all the dangers over there. You see right down that fence where the spectators stand, where the old railway line came into St Andrews. If you go down that fence, that's the easiest second shot. But Jamie is discarding safety. There's a route through between the bunkers, if you wish to take it. He trails by 1. I think that's a pretty good drive. Oh, it is a good drive. That is a beautiful tee shot from Spence. You can see the risk he ran. He's only 15 yards or so, 20 yards. You see where the spectators walked through. The old railway line did make an excellent viewing area. And the perfect tee shot there from Jamie Spence.
Giuseppe Calli now down on the 15th. Just driven his ball just underneath this rather large dune just in front of him. 155 yards to go down the wind. Still very cold out here. I can confirm that. 8-iron. And there he's changed his mind. That's the second time he's changed his mind. Well, it looks like he's gone down one. Never very good news to have two thoughts in your mind. You've got to be very positive here. Must approach every shot with a positive thought in your mind. Very deliberate player. Well, he certainly hit a good shot. It now depends on the bounce and the wind. That's done very well indeed. It's a good shot. A little bit short, but a good shot nevertheless.
'14th, Stephen Richardson's third shot. Through and up and over and on, again, up again, and come back it comes. That's why long putting here is so very difficult on these huge greens.
Guilford's second shot at 15. And that looked like a 7-iron from Guilford. Absolutely right at the flag. On you come. He used a 7-iron at the 19th hole yesterday, and this one only a little worse. Very good. That sets Guilford up, and Guilford is level par and his opponent 1 over, so that is a very important blow to strike.
This is Grappasoni, the 14th, his 4th shot, and no, it'll be a par 5. Short into, I think he may just reach over and tap it in. No, he won't. So Richardson, who's already 6 ahead, has a chance to go even further.
In we go across the 16th to find Constantina Rocca.
And Rocca, with that middle iron from the tee, has left himself an incredibly long second shot. Some 225 to go. The wind following and gusting up now, so that's not such. Although these greens are very large, it's a difficult shot to get it on the green. The control with a long iron, and from there he's probably going to need a 3, perhaps a 4 iron. It is going to be very difficult, particularly as this green's raised.
Now Richardson for a 4 at the 14th, putting up the slope into the wind. Oh, that's nowhere near enough.
Rocca's second shot, 16th. Interesting how his right shoulder flies up. You think he's cut everything miles to the right, and then you find it's gone on straight, but he has underhit it, and he'll be caught in that little valley at the front. You see, that's left a difficult putt now.
Now Richardson having another go, 14th, this for a par 5. Yes, a bit of a struggle. 3 from the back edge of the green, but he's 6 strokes ahead. Just 4 left.
Giuseppe Calli. You can see David Guilford's marker there, just about 4 feet to the left. That was his second shot. Who is 1 over par and will certainly stay that way. He didn't give it nearly enough.
16th, Jamie Spence, and the wind, it dropped about an hour or so ago a little bit. Now it fairly is fizzing across the links. You can see the flag up ahead really rattling.
What an excellent tee shot Jamie hit here. He's obviously a bit mad about that 6 that he took on the 14th. There was a 2-shot swing there, which suddenly put him from 1 ahead to 1 behind, but he's really cracked this one away about 340 from the tee. Sensibly hitting it with a very flat shape to bounce it up the bank. But as Peter was telling you, the wind really cold, icy and getting up. It just shows you, even from that distance, how difficult it is to judge the distance, get the pace right.
Yeah, the old wind gauge on the top of the clubhouse, fairly rattling round. Really does come, and not too long from now there'll be smoke billowing from those chimneys, which will signify that they've picked a new hall porter, Tom Wallace, and to be a very hard man to replace. And dear old Dougie down in the bowels there, looking after the members' needs. Not smoking yet, so still decisions to be made. When the smoke rises high, a name is nigh.
Stephen Richardson. Tee shot at 15, and an iron shot played way down the 4th fairway. On the bubble, and it just hopefully settles still. There's it.
David Guilford at the 15th. This for 3. Well, very difficult with the wind howling across the green. The ball a bit to the right, but the stroke in all truth didn't look very positive.
To the 16th green, and Jamie Spence, after taking his courage in his hands and hitting a driver down there, left himself with a straightforward little pitch, but with the strength of the wind it just whistled across the green. So we've got Jamie behind the green in a hollow with a very difficult 3rd shot. His opponent is short and a hollow at the front of the green with a tricky putt. You see Constantino Rocca. It's not much in it as to whose shot it is, but I think they've decided it's Rocca, even though he's on the green. The one furthest from the flag who plays first.
So here's Rocker going to have first shot at it, but he's got the more difficult shot, I feel, even though he's putting the wind right behind him. He's got to hit it fairly hard to get up the first bit of slope, but then the ball will trundle on considerably with the assistance of the wind. So pace from that distance, he's nearly 30 yards away. Very difficult to judge. It's a great line. And that's a good attempt from there. Came very close to holding it, but has got it within about 3 or 4 feet, which is certainly very good from that distance.
Guildford, 16th. Just off the fairway, little bank there. And with the wind behind, the game is really no easier. In fact, sometimes it's more difficult to stop the ball. We saw Jamie Spence, after a lovely drive on this one, just go trying to get only onto the green. The ball galloping through. Giuseppe Calli. He's been a pro 20 years, Calli, but really has only come sort of really good in the last sort of 3 years in events in Italy. It's not a bad swing, a bit quick maybe, a quickish rhythm, but very solid looking indeed. And that's clattering down the fairway, galloping on.
To the 18th green to Olathabel, who is 1 over. That is for a birdie 3, but I'm afraid it won't be good enough. There's the score, level par 72.
Certainly wasn't good enough for Spain, the number 4 seeds, who were already beaten when Olathabal held that putt. Olathabal going down in the last match to Masi Kuramoto. But ahead of him, Miguel Angel Jimenez, who shot a 69 yesterday, the best of the day. Well, it was a 77 today, and he was beaten by Nobumitsu Yuhara. And a few minutes after that, Jose Rivero went down to a 4-shot defeat at the hands of Hiroshi Makino. So Spain, the number 4 seeds, beaten by Japan. England just with the advantage over Italy. Jamie Spence down in the top match, but it looks as if David Guilford and Stephen Richardson are in the kind of position that should deliver England the victory.
Jamie Spence from the double hollow at the back of 16, up 1 layer, up to another. And a good putt indeed. As Peter was saying, perhaps the easier of the 2 shots, by virtue of coming back into the breeze.
This is Makino ahead at 17. This match not quite finished yet, playing Rivero. Decide who's away here.
Constantino Rocca to save his par. No, it did. So that's a good 4. So he'll stay at 2 under, and at best or worst will be 1 ahead of Spence going to the last. That's the match behind, waiting for the green to clear.
Sorry.
David Guilford. Because this match is very close. It's a real struggle, England versus Italy. The advantage marginally with the English team. Guilford and Calli perhaps the critical match in the middle there. He's a shot ahead. Richardson's home and hosed virtually at 6 shots ahead in the bottom match. And but in all likelihood, David Guilford is going to have to hold on to his lead for England to win. They had to struggle really hard to beat Japan yesterday, who actually had a 5. If you took their aggregate scores together, were 5 shots better than England, but still lost 2-1. It's numbers of matches that count, not total scores. So the medal element is just in your match against the other man. Bit of a hold up now as Well, the wind is changing a little bit. We noticed when we looked at that wind vane above the clubhouse, it was veering. It's been sort of west-northwest, and it was sort of flickering at times to northeast, which of course is going to make it very hard. That's almost sort of due left to right across the course as Jamie Spence drives at the 17th.
And a good drive, well done, down the right-hand side into the right-hand rough. We'll see, not too tall over there. Back at the 16th. This is Guilford, second shot. You can see the flag just right side of the bunker, just over it. He has hit into the hill there and just killed it dead. Didn't get as much out of it as he wanted, but he is up on the same level where the flagstick is.
Stephen Richardson for 3 at 15. And I was going to say to him who hath, but a 4, but it's a nice comfy run in for him.
Back at the 16th hole, the match with Cali and Guilford. Guilford level par, Cali +1. It's Cali you see there, the Italian team. Guilford going up possibly to mark his ball, it looks like. Fix a little pitch mark there on the green. And
well, while Guilford takes his time over marking his ball, we'll pop back and see Richardson convert his 4 at the 15th. Moving parts there, but safely in. He stays 2 under, and he was the best of the English players yesterday.
16, second shot of Cali. Giuseppe Cali, and he's going to wear out his bag just changing clubs before this tournament is over. Of course, this golf course will make you do that, the way the wind blows, and you say how many different ways you can play a particular shot, and most of them wrong, as a matter of fact. Got a pitch in there short, have it bounce up over the ridge that you see. Looks good there. Now let's see if it has the right speed on it. And with the wind, just keeps moving. Not bad. He's not real happy. Of course, he thought he played a better shot than that, as most pros do every time they hit one. They think it should have been better than that. Is part of your test here in St. Andrews. How many bad breaks can you absorb in a round and keep going?
Jamie Spence down the right side of the 17th. 170 yards to go. Coming in from the best side, you hit the bank squarely that protects the front of this green. But even then, a very difficult shot. Well, from where he is, you can't afford to pitch on. He's got to pitch just short and hope to get the right set of bounces as it goes up the hill. Playing very short, though, even 170 yards from a lie that could fly a little bit. He probably needs very little more than a 7-iron. Critical match this, everything very finely balanced between Italy and England. Good shot, but depends on the bounce. He did very well to get as much grip on that shot coming from the semi-rough.
.16. This is Guilford for a birdie. Guilford 1 shot ahead of Callie. Better start to slow down. Very, very nice. Very nice judgment with the wind behind you there. Good feel. Hard to keep a good feel unless you can keep your hands warm on a day this cold.
So now Rocker, who's seen his opponent on the green, just 140 yards, but still a very tricky shot. That was a 9-iron. Yes, it hops up very nicely. Very nicely. That's often the problem when you're using such a lofted club. You drop it just short, it hits the bank or a soft spot, and you stay below the bank. But both players safely on the green, both with birdie putts.
Back at 16, this is Callie putting for his 3, which in turn would get him even with Guilford. Out to the right too far. Man who just turned 40 in late September. Finish this off. Fairly carried that in there. I thought a putt was supposed to hit the ground at least once before it hit the hole.
Now the Fred Couples in the top match for the United States against Korea. He's 1 under par for the day. In he goes. So there you are, 1 under and a 2 there at the 9th. He's one of those, the first hole back down, well, the 8th, the short hole is downwind, but he would have been able to drive the 9th. It's 356 yards, but the gale, what there is behind him.
Yes, that eagle at the 9th helping Fred Couples cause no end, but in fact USA in control of all 3 matches in that tie against Korea. That's the overall Group 1 picture, the Group 1 games, the last out on the course this afternoon.
The 3 sort of... well, it's... and there's where it goes on to the 17th tee. Ooh, and round. He's and interferes with David Guilford ahead.
Jamie Spence, who is 1 shot back of Rocca. This for a 3 at 17, the road hole. First 2 matches in this group. Very close. Italians ahead in this match, but Spence could get back to even if he should make this for a 3. Put he and Callie both 2 under. Just shaves the right side of the hole. 2 good efforts there for 3s, and looks like they're both going to get away with pars, so 1 shot will separate them playing the 18th hole. And Callie taps it in from a couple of inches and off.
Teams today, they all won yesterday, but today, well, Scotland beat France, but there's been defeat for the number 6 seed Sweden by Canada, and the number 4 seed Spain. They've been beaten by Japan. That was in Group 2, England's group, and England have been involved in that tough struggle with Italy. Costantino Rocca completed a victory over Jamie Spence to put the Italians ahead in that match. A lot defended on David Guilford and Giuseppe Calli behind. But this was Rocca's putt at the 18th, which gave him a round of 70. and he beat Jamie Spence by a single shot. So Italy, 1 up. But David Guilford and Giuseppe Calli were coming up behind. David Guilford, his 18th tee shot. This is live, and Guilford has got himself in a strong position with Stephen Richardson also in a winning position in the match coming up behind.
Indeed, David Guilford just won the 17th, if that's the right way to phrase it, by holding a good putt for a 4 to Calli's 5. Calli having been in the little pot bunker in front, the road bunker. So 2 shots, Guilford leads, and that should be decisive. Out here, even
one of the great scenes of golf. Golf has been played in St Andrews for, well, 400 years or so. The old red building there, students stay now, used to be a hotel, but we look down on the 17th tee on America's Fred Couples, the United States Masters champion, who sets off a ball so fast there it was hard to follow, but it's been beautifully picked up. And will it reach the crossing? That's where the longest ones go to. It's just going over it. A lovely tee shot from Couples. Couples at the moment 1 under par. He got an eagle 2 at the 9th to be out in 35. And there are the figures. There's the little flashing figure of the 2 at the 9th hole. That's 356 yards. Nam Singh Park, who was disqualified yesterday on this very hole. A rather unfortunate incident when he hit his ball down the hotel side and thought that it might be lost, did not declare that he was playing a provisional, but used another ball, and it was therefore assumed that the second ball was in play. So when he got down there and found that he'd bounced out from the hotel onto the middle of the fairway, he played the original ball, which was all rather unfortunate. These things do happen, and the language barrier doesn't help, I don't think.
And ahead at the 18th, this is David Guilford. 2 shots ahead. And you never know in golf, but if that doesn't cinch it, this would be a major scoop for the newspapers. He's got to be smiling a little bit now. It has been a tough match. Is Calli playing well? All right. Giuseppe Calli from Italy needs to hold this one and comes up a little short. So it looks like England will go ahead unless Richardson should throw a shoe or faint back there somehow with that 7-shot lead that he has.
This is Stephen Richardson at the 17th. Big break from the left, a good 2.5 feet break, and it just comes around curving past the hole. But Richardson playing wonderful golf. He's 2 under par at this stage, and in this wind that is quite a score. The gatherers who gather behind the wall at the back of 17.
And just ahead at the 18th. Guilford fixing his ball mark there, and you can see the putt that he has, and with a 2-shot lead, they're both on the last green in 2. Richardson well ahead, then England should advance as you look from the behind the 16th all the way into the 18th green, into the old town of St Andrews. Not too many people in those stands so far this week because they've been looking straight into this cold wind from the northwest. It doesn't take you very long to think maybe of having something to warm you up if you've been up there. This then Calli at 18. Been a professional for 20 years. Played on the World Cup for Italy 3 times. It's the 4th time he's been in the Alfred Dunhill Cup. Just then for a 3 to close it to a possible 1 shot, but no, he's going to finish with a 4. That's it. So actually now what this is going to do is first match won by Rocca, who shot 70, to Spence's 71. You see the card there. The eagle at the 12th, the par 4 that you can drive downwind. 5 at 17 when he put it in the road hole bunker. Sort of took away any chance that he had. Still a good round, 74. Than this by David Guilford for a 3 at 18. And a score of 71. 2 putts for even par. And a very nice round indeed. 4-3 finish. A 3-stroke victory over Giuseppe Calli. That's 1 each with England, and you see his card there with the birdie at the start and a birdie at the finish. You can't do too bad when you do that. 1 match for each side now, but it looks like Richardson has his match well in hand with Grappasoni there. There they are, the Spence and Guilford.
Namsen Park of Korea. This is second shot at the 17th. And that's a very good shot. It's the most tricky shot that, to get the ball up that bank and yet not hit it too hard and go across onto the road. Now Fred Couples, who has hit that quite enormous tee shot down there over the walkway and has no more than a gentle 9-iron here. And watch how this one comes around. It looks as though it's going to go to the road, and then it starts turning back towards the flag. That's a beautiful shot from Couples.
Back at 17, Tom Kite, and you see his card there. Very workmanlike. 2 bogeys, 3 birdies. I beg your pardon, 4 birdies. And he's 2 under par at this time. U.S. Open champion. Won it also this year at Atlanta. He's accomplished quite a bit on tour, and he's one of the hardest workers that I've ever seen in the game of golf. Just a little left to right there. Sends it motoring on down. You know, a lot of times you hear about Tom Kite and short hitter and all this. Don't be confused about a man who is of average height, because he seems to have a little motor in that golf ball of his. He's down there almost as far as Couples was. This is Choi, Sang-Ho Choi. Goes. Also, did this cut enough? Hang on just a bit. And also across the path there. Well, maybe Fred Couples is a short hitter. Maybe he shouldn't play with these long hitters there.
Namsen Park. This is on the 17th. Putting across the green. That's not a bad putt. I thought it might have come leaning in towards the hole on the wind. Bitterly cold. It must be very hard from players coming from the other side of the world.
That is a putt by Philip Walton, which he just made at the 15th in the match with Grant Waite, Ireland versus New Zealand. He's got, looks like sort of a little leprechaun there with that hat on. But 2 hats on, as a matter of fact. Let's see this, Philip out in 38, and at the moment, 3 shots behind Grant Waite.
Now, can Fred Couples get a 3 at the 17th? Just watch the curve on this. Huge swing from the left. And just didn't quite hit it hard enough.
Wait for par at 15. And he's got it. Grant Waite, so he's 2 shots ahead of Philip Walton with 3 holes to play, and you see Grant's score there, the New Zealander, -2 for the day. Very, very good playing. Just the 1 drop shot at the par 3 11th. Big sale, not a big sale, but a lot of sales of gloves this week.
Fred Couples driving at 18. There's a great feeling of comfort when you reach the 18th at St Andrews. Between sharing the 1st and 18th fairways, it's over 100 yards of width of fairway. So you're very foolish if you go out of bounds on either side. Park's tee shot. A famous name in these parts, Park. Willie Park, but no relation. There's the perfect tee shot. Come up here to the valley of Well, there's the other one, Couples. They're both safely on the center of this 2 fairways.
Philip Walton, 16th hole. And a beautiful drive down this hole. Fairways as expected, nice and firm. Can afford to take that chance, even though they're out of bounds. You see just over the fence where the car park is. This is Waite. Young man that lives in Cleveland, Ohio, went to school, college, or university in America, but representing his country, New Zealand. Not happy, that's left. Just looking for a place to jump in a hole generally when they bounce that high. But looks good from this angle. But the hard angle to come into 16 from, going to be coming sort of down and across the wind.
Tom Kite about to hit his 2nd shot, and you can see the difficulty. The road bunker there waiting on the left, and the slopes all trying to shape the ball into it.
And very narrow it gets too when you get to the center of this green. And Kite coming from 150 yards. No more than 8. Well, it was a good-looking shot, but he hit the bank in the front of the green, which killed the bounce stone dead. Only hopped forward about 6 feet or so.
This was the 2nd shot recorded of Sang Ho Choi. And he pitches it full toss. They don't usually stay on the green when you do that. And another one hits the road.
Ahead at the 18th. The first match of Group 1 this afternoon, the USA versus Korea. This is then Park. Park, who is 6 over for the round. Couples enjoying a nice steady round at 1 under. But we'll get a look at this swing from behind here. And he played a beautiful shot in here at the 18th hole. Couples, his second shot. And answers Mr. Parks with one equally as good of his own. Fred Couples, the U.S. Masters champion, leading money winner on the U.S. PGA Tour this year. Glad to see Fred over here playing. He played the last 2 weeks on the continent. Played reasonably well in the last tournament, finishing in the top 5. All this adds up to making Fred a world-class player and having other people from around the world get to know this nice man.
To the 15th hole we go to watch Frank Nobilo, the captain of the New Zealand side. Just a gentle wedge shot. Very stylish player. And Nobilo 3 under par. And looking like going 4 under par, and in it goes, and that is a great shot. He can't see it for the sun. Now he's heard. Now he knows the result of that shot. Incredible. He birdied the last hole, and he's birdied this one. In fact, that was an eagle. Now, Rafferty's opponent, who is 3 under par. This has been a wonderful game, and Rafferty hits his when attempting to halve the hole. A beautiful shot from Rafferty. Nobilo's eagle takes him to 5 under, and so there's going to be a New Zealand lead in this match.
Tom Kite at 17. His putt is going to break down to the left, and then up right about there it begins to go out to the right again because of the hill there to the left of the hole. Good speed. Well judged as far as speed is concerned by Tom Kite. You can see the wind still blowing, and all day it's really been quite sunny here, as you can see from the shadows. Not much of that yesterday, but still very cold. And move back to Choi here.
Choi 4 behind and using the putter. Never quite sure how it's going to react into that grassy bank. That'll do quite well at the end of the day. Here she comes again. Well, a good shot from there. Whatever you played, wedge, sandown, you're not going to do any better than that. Difficulty of that shot, apart from his lie there, of course, the slope of the green runs away from him. That's what really makes it so difficult, the green up above you. And when you're standing down there with the ball, it really does look a very dismal, grisly sort of scene. So still a chance for a 4 here. Can salvage his par, but even then he's likely to walk on the 18th tee, 4 shots behind.
To the 18th, Fred Couples. This putt for a 3 for a round of 70. And nicely done. A comfortable victory for Fred Couples.
And at 17, Choi, this for a 4. After a nice shot off the road. And he gets it to stay just 2 over. And if Kite should make his, Tom would stay 2 under. Oh, I'm sorry, we've got the +1 there. I do believe that was for a par. And it would keep him at 2 over if our figures are correct here. Tom with the cross-handed stroke now. There it is. Par also for Tom Kite to stay 2 under. He said, I made a par on 17. He's delighted. You can see how the wind has dropped, and as Peter pointed out, still no smoke yet, so we have no word on the new additions to the staff. When it blows where you can't see it, I understand they declare it Ladies' Day that day. Has to move a lot faster than that, though.
Group 1 games, the last on the course, and USA ahead against Korea, and clearly going to complete that victory via Tom Kite and Davis Love as well. Kite 4 up on Sang Ho Choi, and Davis Love 7 up on Shul Sang Cho. But which way is that Ireland-New Zealand match going to go? Terrific scoring between Ronan Rafferty and Frank Nobilo, particularly from the New Zealander in the last couple of holes. Birdie at 14, eagle at 15, and now it's advantage Nobilo by 2 shots at the 16th. Philip Walton is trailing Grant Waite by 2, but Christy O'Connor is well ahead against Greg Turner at 5 shots the margin there. So it's anybody's match overall, but Rafferty and Nobilo are the pair providing the entertainment.
Down at the 16th green, Philip Walton on the left there. You recognize him. He's wearing 2 hats. He's got a cap on, and on top of that, a pom-pom. So that should keep him. There it is. That's how to keep your ears warm. That's the best you can do out on an icy cold day. Used to playing in the wind. He comes from Malahide, just south of Dublin. Walton at level par. Very difficult to judge with the wind sweeping across the greens, the pace of the putts. Grant Waite, his opponent, is 2 under par. Grant Waite keeping his hands in his pockets just as long as he can. Trying to keep that left hand warm. This is not an easy putt, I can assure you. It's coming across the green with the wind virtually behind it. And a little bit of a downslope to start with. It's what usually happens when you're allowing for the wind. The ball comes up quite 2.5 feet short. Well, there are his figures, and it's incredible how good some of the scoring has got. The 5 under par of Frank Nobilo, New Zealand, incredible golf. Greg Norman, the first match out, scored a 69, and the conditions have been absolutely awful. The sun has shone, but that's been about the only consolation. That's a lovely view. It shows you some of the undulations from a couple of 100 feet up, what it all looks like. And this putt, 2.5 feet. And nicely holed for Waite to stay at 2 under. Just 2 holes to go. And there is the roof that they have to hit it over of the 17th tee, and that's where he's going over there, but he's playing partner stroke opponent is still to get a 4. Oh, well, I tell you, that did the complete circle around the hole. Oh, they do smile with cold teeth today. It doesn't pay to open your lips. Yes, you see the writing of the Old Course Hotel there. Whichever O you come across, caddies will tell you one. And there it is, you see. They say the left-hand O if you're an average player, the right-hand O in hotel if you want to commit suicide. And that pond there is, there's a lot of balls go in there. And the glass windows, I can assure you, are reinforced glass, those down at the dining room. The shed seems an awkward hazard, but it is the shape of the old sheds that were there, the old club-making factory. So, very shallow swing of Walton, drawing the ball to the left, and the wind just straightening it out. That's a nice shot. They really are sending it a long way down 17. That is a massive tee shot. Look at that.
This Greg Turner, second shot. At 16. 15, I'm sorry. And a good, well, looked like a good bounce at first, but it better hang on now. Kick right toward the pin, but the wind just carried it to the back of the green.
Now to 17, Grant Wade. A very nice orthodox golf swing. Simple as can be on a terrifying tee shot. And that looks to be a beauty as well. Just depends which bump you land on. Look at that.
Christy O'Connor, second shot at 15. He in the match with Turner, well in control here at 5 shots in the lead. Christy hits a marvelous iron in there.
5 under par, Frank Nobilo. Second shot now at the 16th hole. He hasn't putted for a while. And up it comes. It must slow down. If it gets onto that hollow at the back, down it goes. And that, I can assure you, leaves a very awkward shot. You get an idea of the difficulty there. He's got about 6 or 7 yards to get up, and then there's a little ridge still on the green. You can see there's 2 ridges facing him before he gets up, and that makes it a strange decision you have to make. A consolation is that the wind is against, and if he wants to throw one in a bit firm, the wind will slow it up.
It's Greg Turner at 15. And even though that's sort of back against the wind, a little firm.
Ronan Rafferty at the 16th, his second shot. He's playing against Frank Nobilo. And thanks to Nobilo's eagle, Rafferty trails by 2 shots, and he's going to go into another little hollow at the other side, at the back of the green. I do believe. No, he's not. He's just clung on. There are his figures. It's excellent golf. The golf this afternoon is really of the highest order. The fact that fellows are scoring so many under par and the conditions have not got a bit easier at all. Not only is it windy and cold, the sun has gone in a bit too.
Christy O'Connor for a birdie at the 15th, and straight in, and might be playing on a different course the way they're playing. He stays at, or goes to 3 under.
So Ireland locked in a bit of a desperate struggle with New Zealand. Rafferty 2 down on Frank Nobilo. Philip Walton 2 down on Grant Wade, but Christy O'Connor 5 up on Greg Turner in that last match. Ahead of them, USA well in control of the match with Korea, and in Group 2, England have completed their anticipated victory over Italy. Stephen Richardson a round of 70 against a 78 from Silvio Grappasoni. England 2, Italy 1. England 100% in the competition so far.
Back at the 17th now. And this is a very different course to the one we usually see or have seen so often in various competitions staged here over the years. The 17th hole playing a drive and a flick. How often we've seen it, 2 full-blooded woods and then some. So this is a very interesting situation. Ireland and New Zealand. Ireland, after their strange goings-on yesterday, have a real battle on their hands. And New Zealand showing a very stout form indeed. There you can just see the flag at the end there, just to the right of the end of the bungalow there, the corner of the stand, sort of 10 yards or so to the right of the bunker. That looks to be a little punchy one, yes. Now will it land and hope? A bit of speed, will it? No. Didn't need a lot more. There it goes back down the hill, and is it going to hole out in the sprinkler head? No. Wait, 2 under par, and at this moment appears to be in control, not doing anything silly. He's should get a 5 at the very worst here at the 17th. Now, Philip Walton.
So, wonderful tee shot here for Philip Walton. Now, can he make the most of it? He's got just over 120 yards to go. It's either a very big wedge thrown up onto the green or a low pitch and runner. He's gone for the low, straight-faced club there. Seemed to get a bit of a shoot on the first bounce, and that's why it's unfortunately gone through the green onto the road. Just pitched on a little downhill slope.
Well, he won't know that, but it's on the bit of tufty stuff there. Maybe all right, but it may, on the other hand, have the clinker or stuff underneath it. It looks easier than it might be. And from there, he just whack it into the bank and hope for the best, although he's got a bit of a backstop behind the flag.
Nobilo from the back of the 16th green. Up the 2 tiers and didn't read that at all well. Got slung off the sort of the side wall, so to speak.
Back on the tee, O'Connor. That familiar, very quick swing, punched away. And that's a fine drive. That is beautifully positioned.
So a chance here for Rafferty at 16. It's a very, very, very good putt. What golf. That's a certain 4.
USA have now established their winning lead over Korea in that opening match in the Group 1 matches that are still out on the course. Ireland, New Zealand, still very close and defending greatly on the progress of Ronan Rafferty and Philip Walton over the closing holes. The wins today: Australia beat Thailand in Group 4, Scotland beat France, and Canada beat the number 6 seed Sweden in Group 3. In Group 2, Japan beat the number 4 seed Spain, and